Allow me to introduce myself. Who knows what dastardly crime he might perpetrate next?
He's a very clever arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim of this homicidal maniac.
This episode of Night City Wire was all about Night City and some of its inhabitants. Today we talk a bit about what was discussed on the episode, plus I give you a video that I made not too long ago discussing some of the basic lore of Night City. Let's get into it, folks. What is up, everyone? I am Jay Fonzrelli, and my apologies for not making content the last couple of weeks, but I've had a recent death in the family and had to, well, a lot of stuff's going on with that. I had to take on a second job, pay for the final expenses, all kinds of stuff going on in my life right now, so I didn't have much time to make a video. But today, I had a window of opportunity, and I decided to create this video on the day of Night City Wire Episode 3. And as I've stated at the top of this video, they briefly went over some of its factions, districts, including the fact that each street in Night City will have its own name. So, during missions or even just casual conversations with NPCs, they may just drop a street name on where you should go next, or where you just might want to take a look. How cool is that? Now, as far as Night City's inhabitants, each district will have its own gang or faction. And CDPR was asked on the show if V, which is a merc, would be able to join any one faction. And it was revealed that you will not. Again, V is a merc, and mercs take on jobs from various factions, therefore they cannot be 100% trusted. We're also told that each faction will be very different from one another, and of course we pretty much already know this. We'll get different clothing, weaponry, and things like that from each faction, but you'll also catch different attitudes as well.
And who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be? I'm gonna introduce you to our meat grinder.
This episode of Night City Wire wasn't anything mind-blowing for sure. We didn't learn too much here. We pretty much knew a lot about these districts and these gangs already from previous Night City episodes, or even from my videos and other people's videos that have been put out there here on YouTube. We've been going over some of this stuff already, but that said, this game is shaping up to be something special, folks. They did show some visuals here that we have not seen before during this episode, and every time I see more of this game, it just looks better than the time I've seen it before. Let me know what you guys think about this episode of Night City Wire Episode 3. Let me know down below in the comments. And as I stated at the top of this video, I would attach a video that I made not too long ago. You may have not seen it. If you have, I apologize. If you haven't, watch it. It's in a docu-style sort of way. I had fun with this video, and it's basically a brief history of Night City. A bit of lore here. Hope you enjoy it. Until next time, folks. Game on. The year, 2077. The place, Night City. Like most cities left in America, it's crime infested, overrun by street gangs, drug cartels, and greedy corporations. In fact, in 2077, Night City was voted worst city in America. But to understand why this place is so bad, you have to go back to the fall of the US and pretty much the entire world. You see, it all starts in 1990. This is when the US would decide to get involved in a Central American drug war, and this would do nothing but anger powerful drug cartels. And it's these cartels that start waging a war on the US. And by 1993, just 3 years later, these cartels would deploy a nuclear device in New York City, killing tens of thousands of people. 1 year later, in 1994, things get even worse. Due to a massive global stock market crash, the US is economically destroyed. This would be the catalyst to drive unemployment rates and homelessness to levels never seen before. Droughts across the Midwest lead to food shortages. Family-run farms are wiped out, and corporations take control of what little agriculture is left. Unable to keep up with our own demands at home, America no longer exports food to the rest of the world. As you can imagine, within this bleak world, 1 in 4 citizens are jobless, the middle class is all but wiped out, and many are left homeless. Now it's this poverty, this despair and hopelessness that leave many of its citizens to join one of the many gangs in and around Night City.
Has been assassinated. It's official now. The president is dead.
In 1996, the US president and vice president are assassinated. From that moment on, it would be the CIA, NSA, DEA, and the FBI that would form what is known as the Gang of Four, and they would take complete control. And because this Gang of Four only looked out for their own best interests, over the years, many states would secede from the US, including California. The world of cyberpunk is not a good place, and over the years, it just gets worse. Devastating earthquakes, toxic spills in the oceans, and even more nuclear disasters across the world will add even more chaos to an already overly chaotic world. Corporations become mega corporations and essentially run everything, leaving governments and its people pretty much powerless. And it's these mega corporations that go on to start world wars that many cities around the world never recover from. Even Night City itself suffers from a nuclear explosion at one of these corporate buildings in 2023. Now, despite even world wars, over these many years, tech still moves forward in a major way. Everything is essentially hooked up to the net. Cyberspace is a virtual space you can jack into, and people are now able to implant what is called cyberware into their bodies and have it interact with their nervous system, adding things like cyber optics to the eyes that can record what is seen, cyber audio in the ear that can boost hearing, and even implanting weapons into body parts. And it's this cyberware, along with the high-tech weaponry, the net, and its cyberspace that will aid you in your journey as you take on the role of V, a mercenary outlaw in this cyberpunk universe. Again, the world of cyberpunk is not a good place, but it's definitely one I can't wait to get into.